What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And today, news time, we had a brand spanking new amount of news today. We have some crazy news to talk about today, obviously regarding the Kinemon Denjiro Ashura Doji Dogstorm, otherwise known as KDad. Love that name, by the way. The KDad Sugo Fest was officially announced, the 8.5 anniversary part 1, so there is inevitably going to be a part 2. And it does say that it is a 10% chance to get a new legend, so like, it's pretty typical Sugo Fest, like a new batch Sugo Fest, but of course it is just a single debuting legend. One thing that does need to be stated though, that this was something that I was fearing was going to happen, and unfortunately it did, where we can see right here with the red text at the top of the screen, it says the new KDad will only be available in special Sugo Fests for memorable moments of OPTC, such as anniversaries, half anniversaries, and they're not going to be available in special rare recruits either, so they're not going to be available on legend tickets or rare recruit tickets moving forward. Essentially the same kind of structure as the Hancock, Nami, and Robin character that debuted during the anniversary period earlier this year, when Hybrid Kaido and the Super Tandem Luffy and Ace Yamato, when they debuted with the waifus, that was the same thing here. Luckily, the waifus are going to be returning on this banner. Unfortunately, the waifus are only going to be returning on part 1 of the Sugo Fest, where you have a vast array of characters, 30 pullable legends. Part 2 and 3 only have 20 pullable legends, so it is annoying that they do structure it in such a way where you actually, to get the waifus, you have to pull for them on part 1, which is actually the worst part overall, because typically the debuting character has the lowest rate, so I'm expecting the KDad to have the lowest rate pullable on this part. But if you don't have the waifus, this is your only chance to get them, probably until the anniversary in May, or they might do it for Global's anniversary in February. I think that's probably another opportunity that those characters will be available to be pulled. But yeah, it's just a little bit of an underwhelming situation that we find ourselves in, but the character themselves, they're phenomenal. I think that this character is on the same level as a Super Sugo Fest exclusive, but of course, just coming off of the Film Red celebration, I completely understand why people would not want to pull here, and I would probably advise most people out there to not pull on the banner. I had a brief look at the boosted list, and the boosted list is okay. There's definitely some good characters here, but this is probably more for the whales and heavy investors, because you can see there's lots of characters here, especially towards the bottom, characters that have level limit breaks, and especially with the other parts too. So if you're looking to level limit break some of your characters that you haven't done yet, then yeah, pulling on Sugo Fest like these is probably going to be a really good time for whales. But I think that for most players out there, it's better to conserve your gems and likely wait and see what part 2 has in store for us for the 8.5 anniversary, or alternatively just wait until New Year's, because New Year's is always a hype celebration that brings along phenomenally powerful characters. So I think it's probably a wise decision to conserve your gems until that point. But moving forward from that, there is the announcement of the 8.5 anniversary campaign, and we have some pretty cool stuff. So if you log in on the 12th of November, which is the official date of the 0.5 anniversary, you get 25 rainbow gems. Now, we don't know if there's going to be any other particular amazing celebration that occurs during this point, but that's pretty neat that you get the chance to get the 25 rainbow gems for free just by logging in. Furthermore, we get a free multi-pull on the upcoming Part 1 Sugo Fest, which is great. I am expecting, you know, whenever Part 2 of the 8.5 anniversary drops, that we're probably going to get another free multi there as well. We don't know if the increased chance of reds is going to be included on the free multi. Sometimes they do include it, sometimes they don't. It's hard to determine when that actually occurs. But it's a free multi. I know a lot of people complain about it. Oh, it's basically 11 dupes, but they don't have to give us a free multi. A free multi is always great, so we take that. We have a login bonus coming up, which it gives us over 15 days. You can get 20 rainbow gems, which is pretty good. We take those for sure, but you can also get level limit break posters. You got rumble scrolls and some lobsters too, which is actually pretty decent. And then there's this one here, which is actually kind of intriguing. So it says that to celebrate Yamato's birthday, a special Chopperman request will be available during the event period, November 2nd to November 18. And essentially, you clear quests a certain amount of times to receive a new booster called the Odin's Travels. Now, unfortunately, this booster isn't very exciting because it states right below the event period that this booster is going to have the same effect as a Forbidden Tome. So it's likely just going to be 5,000 EXP and unlocking a socket for your character. So, in my opinion, because of how restricted these rare items are going to be, I think this is more of just a collector thing, and I think that most people should probably just conserve it because it might be like a really cool collector piece on your account. But, you know, if you do need to use Forbidden Tomes, this new item essentially provides the same type of effect for you, so nothing too crazy there. Moving on though, there's the 8.5 anniversary Rainbow Gem sale. This one actually is pretty exciting, and this lasts until the 25th of November. So I wonder if the Part 2 celebratory event is gonna start on the 25th, and they're gonna have a refresh of gem sales, or is in this event period between October 29th and the 25th, is Part 2 also going to be in the same month as well? We'll have to wait and see how they kind of construct that. But very typical, we've got like a 285 gem pack, a 200 gem pack, and it doesn't mention here that we get some legend tickets. Now, the legend tickets are getting severely buffed this time around. You guys you'll see what I mean in just a moment. You got 100 gem packs, 50 gem packs, and of course it scales all the way down, and then you got the unlimited packs. But about the red tickets that you can get from these gem packs, the really cool thing about this, right, is that it goes all the way from Nami Robin and scales all the way up to the most recent batch, which has Sengoku, but also the film red non-Super Sugo units are finally available to be pulled in red tickets. So we've got Chopper, Ben Beckman, and Lucky Roo, as well as the Usopp and Yasop. And I think definitely the highlight here is the fact that Beckman and Lucky Roo are now finally pullable because they have Super Tandem, so getting multiple copies of that character is going to be great. Getting access to a higher Super Tandem level is always good. And I know that a lot of people, you know, heavily invested in Uta and potentially didn't have the opportunity to pull for Shanks, Beckman, Lucky Roo, Usopp, Yasop, or Snake Man. So the fact that they're now pullable in these is good, and it does kind of indicate as well that any other legend ticket past this event period means that they're going to be available in that too. So really, really good that they're finally adding those characters to the pool of pullable units, because we've been long awaited that. You know, since the start of the celebration, people have been wanting to get these characters without having to pull on the actual film red Sugos themselves. So it's nice that those characters are finally available. And then this one here as well, which is kind of cool. The new announcement of a new Grand Voyage. I know Grand Voyage is very, you know, it's very hit or miss with a lot of people in the community. There's definitely some good things about it, but I think mostly a lot of people have a negative feeling towards the Grand Voyage. But this is kind of interesting. The fact that Hawkeye's Mihawk is going to be the boss, and it's going to be on Baratie. This is the first new Grand Voyage boss that we've received that is going to be appearing on one of the maps that we already have. A lot of people were predicting that Arlong Park was going to be the next Grand Voyage and potentially providing us with level limit breaks for, you know, V1 Nami. Unfortunately, V1 Nami did not receive a level limit break, and instead, a Zoro character did receive a level limit break, V2 Zoro. And the fact here that it states that rewards by clearing this mission, you get an Int Legend poster for, you know, level limit break, and an Int Absolute Sugo Ray Manual. So this would indicate that V2 Zoro is going to be the most quote-unquote ideal unit to use in this content. So I'm very excited to see what they have in store for that. It's interesting. The fact that this is, once again, another Int Grand Voyage boss. This is now the third boss now that requires you to use Int characters on a team. So I don't really know how I feel about that. I think that they probably should have constructed the fights a little bit more efficiently, because, you know, having to use so many Int characters back to back is a lot. So we'll have to wait and see what the actual condition is, whether you have to use Int and Driven or Int and Slasher, because V2 Zoro is both of those classes. The fact that Zoro, though, is a Slasher captain leads me to believe that it's probably going to be Int and Slasher. So we'll have to wait and see what the most ideal team is to actually beat that. But either way, moving on, speaking of level limit breaks, we have the brand new additions of some new level limit breaks into the game. Speaking of Zoro, V2 Zoro is one of the characters that is receiving the buffs. Unfortunately, we can't actually see the buffs at the moment. We have to do some time traveling to have a look at that. I'll probably make a separate video talking about the level limit breaks in a little bit more detail. But to give you guys a quick, brief summary right now, Zoro and Mihawk did receive pretty decent buffs. Cracker got absolutely shafted. His buffs were terrible. As unfortunate as that is to see, he probably needed it the most, and he got really shafted. His buffs are not that good. And then also V1 Dogstorm and V1 Cat Viper received buffs. Their buffs were interesting, but I don't think that the buffs really made them, you know, more usable in content. I think it's going to be, these characters are probably not going to see too much play, unfortunately. But these characters needed buffs. They got them. They're decent, but I don't think it's going to, you know, overly, you know, increase the amount of play that they're really going to see in the game, unfortunately. But pretty much that's it. That's all the brand new news that we have today. Once again, I'll probably make a separate video talking about the Sugo Fest in a little bit more greater detail, going through each of the parts separately. But overall, that's going to wrap up just all of the news that we have right now in One Piece Treasure Cruise. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video today. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.